Hi, everybody. Welcome to AITA Pod. I'm Danny Vega, joined today by my lovely co-host. I guess I'm not supposed to say that. My wonderful, because I'm like
lovely,
repetitive. Yeah, I'm stealing from myself. Biting, as they say in hip hop. Shan and I.
That's me.
Dressed very chicly. I was being unfair to you.
On me earlier.
I know. I was just being hostile because you look better than me.
I look pretty silly though. This is a silly outfit.
But the jacket thing. What is that called? Like a sweater jacket?
A sweater cardigan.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
It brings it together. The green and the green. It's
and
a
then I'm
thoughtful
wearing
outfit.
my boyfriend and his brother's faces on my chest.
Doing the heart hand thing. It's super cute.
They gave their mom. They gave one to their dad when they were kids, like this. And Max wears his all the time. I told this on Patreon, but I'll say it again. And then the mom recently made them these shirts. You can see it on our YouTube.
It's like a JCPenney's photo shoot.
Of them making like the hearts with the hands.
Yeah.
And smiling very awkwardly.
Their smile, no one is actually smiling. There's only one kid who I would describe as smiling.
This one, right?
No, the one above him.
In the back?
The little one.
Oh, but he still looks silly though.
Yeah, they all look real. The smiles are like
very.
They look like the smile after you've done 87 pictures.
Yes. Well, that's like Max is. Dude needs to learn his angles. Like he is the worst at getting photos taken of him ever. He blinks the entire time. So every photo he's blinking.
He's a blinker.
And then his smile's like this, like.
Oh God!
That like forced smile,
that's
and I'm like,
good.
It's bad. I'm like, just don't even smile. Like,
just
like, give us blue steel or something.
Yeah, blue steel. There we go.
But yeah, so we're at my house.
The Chandler.
I guess we're recording here now, looking cute. You can see some of my photos up on the wall as well, and my bathroom is pretty close.
We have a new tradition.
We have a new thing.
So, yeah, well, here in this where we record here, you can hear someone like peeing in the bathroom.
So it's very close.
And I mean, we're kind of getting into the etiquette of this. It's kind of. Oh, did we already talk about it?
Yeah, but we have
our new tradition. Well, because this is coming out before the other episode, so.
Oh, it is okay,
right? Because it's coming out for Thanksgiving week.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody! It's coming up.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's politically correct. Are we still allowed to do Thanksgiving?
I actually don't know, but I.
Fuck the Pilgrims. There we go.
Them.
They were pieces of shit. You can hear pissing, and so what do? You run the water. That's something
yes, I have done that, but I also don't care. So like last time you were like, oh, well, I heard you peeing, so it would probably be okay if you could hear me peeing.
Right.
You were like, normally I play a song. So then this time he had to go to the bathroom and he starts feeling around for his pockets. And I'm like, are you looking for your phone to play music? He goes in there and he starts playing. We built this city.
So that's the peace song. And I was trying to kind of prank Shannon. Anytime she's out now, she hear that song, she gonna think about me peeing.
I'm gonna think about
that's funny to me.
So then I had to go and I start playing.
We built the city.
We built this city.
It's the piss song now. Now it's in your heads too.
It's in your heads now too, guys. Sorry if that was your favorite song.
Oh,
we are
man,
so sorry.
That sucks. Yeah, you're a piss song person.
You're a piss song. You're gonna just thinking of us going number one, hon.
So we've got some talking points here. It looks like you had a kooky Halloween.
Well, yeah, it wasn't too kooky, but I got into a little tiff, I'd say.
Ooh.
So I went out on Halloween with two of my friends. Actually, right answers mostly Claire Donald.
Yeah.
And her boyfriend is really good friends with my boyfriend, Max.
Got it.
And so the four of us went to a couple house parties, and then we ended up at Corey, her boyfriend's bar, which is Winston House in Venice, for anyone that's been. And there was like a photo booth area, and then there's a line for the bathroom, speaking of, right next to it. So the four of us were like getting our pictures taken, and then Max was Magnum PI, which was Tom Selleck's character. I think it was like an 80s TV show.
Sure.
So like the older generation would kind of more know what it is. And then Claire and Corey were both Kris Jenner.
Okay.
And then I was Lewis, the jack-o'-lantern from Target. And it's a Target decoration that would say, I am not a jack-o'-lantern. My name is Lewis.
Because your name is Shannon
and
Lewis,
my last name is Lewis. So I like dressed in all black, and then I got this jack-o'-lantern head, and then I made a Target name tag that said Lewis on it.
And people got it?
Only like 2 people.
Okay, that's validating because I was like,
yeah, not a lot of people got it at all.
Okay.
And but also same with Max. Like 2 people got his too.
Okay.
Like not many people got Magnum PI as well.
Well, they probably said like detective or something though.
No, because he wears a Hawaiian shirt and then has a mustache. Like that's all Max did. It wasn't like
kind of lazy. Okay.
It wasn't terribly, but he like shaved his beard into a mustache. Like he's never done that before. So that was kind of cool. I liked the mustache look. It was
like a mustache.
Yeah, it was cool. I'd never seen him have that before. So we got done taking pictures. And this girl in line
for the photo booth,
for the bathroom, and it's like a smaller room within the bar. So there was like a good amount of, there was like 15 people in this little area that we all were.
Okay.
And so she like goes to Claire like, oh my God, Kris Jenner, like I knew you right away. Such a good costume. Like that's a good Halloween costume. And you know, like right away what someone is. And then she like kind of glances at me and Max and she like turns to Max. She goes like, what the fuck are you supposed to be? Max was like, well, I'm Magnum PI. And she's like, what a lame fucking costume. Like, look, Kris Jenner, that's what you need. Like you need something that somebody knows like right away what you are. And like you have to explain it. Like how lame is that? She was being such a bitch. I was getting fucking heated. So I'm under my mask and like I'm about to like be like, who do you think you're talking to? But so then I like take off my mask and I go, and what are you supposed to be? How good is that?
Perfect.
And she was just like, literally the air in the room got sucked out and she was like and she was just like a generic boxer, just like a straight up generic boxer, not even like a famous one or anything, with like a piece of tape on her nose. And she goes, well, I'm a boxer. And Max goes, yeah, well, it looks like you lost.
Max with the fucking 1-2 punch.
It was so good.
Stand down.
It was literally like a movie moment. Like everyone in the room was like, ooh, and like sipping their drink, like, And it was like, girl, you're nobody that anyone can totally recognize either. Yeah. So like, what are you saying?
Right. We got that part. Yeah, no, we got that already.
I'm heated again.
That's amazing. What was that like? Kind of like was that kind of hot for you guys? That you both like that was a perfect tag team.
Yes, Max was like, oh my God. He was like, that was so amazing. Like you stuck up for me. It was so good. I was like talking about it for like the next 24 hours because it was just one of those moments too where like you would normally think of it like 6 hours later and been like, God damn it, I should have said. And what are you supposed to be?
That fucking girl.
But I did it.
No, and you took off the mask. How dramatic is that?
Oh, it was so dramatic.
Oh, I love that.
Oh,
and
so
when she said all this, did she just like turn around and scurry away, or what did she do?
Well, she was still in line, and then like I think she still was like just kind of talking shit. And then after that, everyone sort of started talking like the moment was over. But like the 4 of us left the room, and we were like, "Oh shit!" Like got rocked.
She's like, I just pissed myself a little bit. Because I just got rocked.
Someone was saying I should have been like, put on the gloves, bitch. Let's go. Because she had the gloves.
Yeah, I should have fought her.
That would have been a little too far.
Well, you won your TIFF. I was in a TIFF of my own.
Oh, you were?
So I look, they came out with a new one wheel and it can like go uphill. It's like crazy. It's like faster, basically. It's more powerful, basically.
Okay, so this is a new one?
This is a new one.
How many do you have now?
I got 3. It's a lot.
Oy.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot.
Do you use them all?
I use 2. I use 2
one?
like at like I'll go to a trail and use the batteries of 2 because it's like uphill, so it burns through them pretty quick. I'll be there like 2 hours.
So you bring another battery pack?
No, I have the 2 one wheels.
Oh,
they don't have external batteries. No, I leave it in the car.
Oh, gotcha.
Then I ride up the trail and back.
Okay.
And then the third one I use for grocery store and stuff like that. It's light. That's my excuse. Listen, I ain't got a lot right now, okay? Those are my little babies. Some people got 3 dogs. I got 3 one wheels, okay?
Sweet.
Anyway, so the new one comes out. So I'm like, I want to ride it on this trail by my house. It's called Elysian. It's basically around Dodger Stadium. Mm-hmm. It's not really a mountain, but it's like kind of a mountain. Have you done it? It's a hike.
Yeah.
It's a little hike. It's a cute little hike.
I don't think I've ever done that one, but it's not quite as vertical as like Griffith, is it?
No,
Yeah,
no, it's nothing like, it's not like a real hike, but it's like, I don't know, it's probably about, maybe it's 45 minutes, but like you go up and you go down and it's pretty.
Like a 45-degree angle? No, not quite.
No.
Yeah,
God,
okay.
no. Okay. But it's maybe 1,000 feet of elevation gain. Probably not even that, honestly. Probably 500 feet, whatever. Cool. It's not much,
right?
But it's right by my house. And I was getting really excited because I just wanted to go do it. It kind of felt like I was at a ski in, ski out, which is really expensive. You know, I was like, I got to go do a run, come back.
Oh, cool.
So, and I was wearing
he flies on this thing, guys. I've seen you do it in Joshua Tree. I was like surprised at how fast you were going.
It's pretty crazy. And when I wear gear, I'm insane. Like now I was being very respectful on the trails. If I see someone, I slow down, even if I know that I would never hit them or anything, I slow down because I know that they might be afraid. They don't know.
Or like shocked or something.
Yeah, exactly. And I was also playing music out of my phone.
Ooh, we built this city.
The only track. And my rationale there was, I'm not going to be around you very long because you're walking and I'm going. Most people have earbuds in anyway.
Yeah.
It's not that loud. It's just a phone speaker. It's not amplified. And it's just enough so that you know that I'm behind you so that I won't scare you and you'll move out of my way.
Oh, so you're doing it on purpose.
Yeah, that was
to alert.
That was my philosophy. And I was like, yes, and there's a sign that says no bikes. And I did happen to know that you're not allowed to ride electric skateboards.
One wheel go with that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I happen to know, but I knew that if someone called me out, I could reference the sign. So sure enough, it happened. This guy who looked like Casey Neistat on steroids, basically was like, hey man, you're not supposed to do that. And I was like, okay. And I like got off my board and then a woman joined him. So now I got two people on me at once. And I was like, all right, yeah. Well, the sign says no bikes. And then he was like, and then she's like, well, that's semantics. And I was like, well, I mean, this isn't really a bike, which I did think was actually kind of a decent defense because you get hit with a bike, you're kind of dead. You know what I mean? Like, comparatively.
More than a one wheel?
Well, there's no one wheel to hit you. You're just getting hit with a person. It's like the difference between being tackled and being hit with a motorcycle.
Because you are kind of getting hit with the one wheel. Like, wouldn't it go into your ankles and stuff?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I feel
you
like that would hurt.
Ankle. Yeah.
Or just like knock you down.
I guess.
And it's also a motor. It's not a bicycle.
I know. You can go a lot faster on a bike, though.
No.
Yeah.
You mean an electric bike?
No. What? You could pedal 30 miles an hour on a bike easily.
How fast are you going?
It only goes 25 max.
Oh, I don't know. It seems like you're flying on it. I don't think I've ever gone 30. You cannot go 30 miles on a bike.
Yes, you can, Shannon.
With a downhill slope, maybe?
No, you can go 30 miles an hour on a bike. I guarantee. Pumping, maybe, but like you can go.
Really? Yeah. I feel like you would need an electric bike for that.
Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, bottom line is I was breaking the rules. I knew it. Then this guy, I could go 45. I could go 45. My calves are made of steel. Anyway, this fucking guy then says, I forgot how we got there. And I wasn't saying, and then they started name calling. I remember he said, he was like, you're a little fucking asshole or something like that. And I was like, well, if you guys are going to call names, then I'm not going to have this conversation.
Yeah.
And so then he goes, go back to where you come from. And
what
I was like,
hell?
Sir, what is that supposed to mean? And he just kind of stared at me blankly. And he was like, I mean like Orange County or whatever. And I was like, the fuck does that mean, bro? And so at that point, I looked him in the eye. This guy had like a foot on me too. He was a big motherfucker. But he was
Were you
skinny.
on your one wheel?
Yeah, I had the one wheel behind me, but I had all this gear on, like wrist guards and elbow pads. I was like, I'll just wrist guard palm you in the face.
Yeah, right in the nose.
Piece of shit.
Start bleeding.
And then I go, I'll stay on this mountain just to piss you off, dog.
Hell yeah.
And so then he was like, you know what? Do whatever you want to do. Just don't say another word to me. And then the woman was like, it's not right. And then she goes, entitled white male, referring to me. And I was like, she's not wrong about that.
Yeah.
And so I rode a couple feet up and then the guilt overcame me. Fucking Catholicism. So then I rode back down, and then of course, fucking Royd's Casey Neistat had to be like, and you're kicking up dust. I'm like, I'm literally leaving, bro. I'm leaving.
Oh,
like,
God.
what do you want from me? And then she even took my side. She was like, he's leaving. He's leaving. So
wait, these two didn't know each other.
No,
right?
no, they were just random people walking their dogs.
I don't know. I'm on your side, I think, honestly. Fuck these people.
I mean, I posted about it on the thing. Like, I just think, like, look, I'm a runner. I understand it. Like, people will ride their fucking scooters and stuff, and they are really dangerous about it.
Yeah.
And it's annoying. It's a tight path, like, at points now. And I was being safe about it, but I was like, in the end, there are much better mountain bike trails, and it pushed me to go find new stuff. So I'm a law abiding. I'm a rule follower.
Yeah, I mean, it's technically the like legal correct thing, but like the way that they went about it.
She was clean.
Okay, well,
it
the
was
way
him.
he went about it then.
But like I was technically wrong, and I can't just sit here and I can't have a fucking advice in an etiquette podcast when I know I'm in the wrong. And like, that's not what the park is intended for. Actually, I Googled it. In 2000, it was actually a heated debate because the bikers wanted that trail and they lost.
Oh,
which kind of makes sense. Like I said, like
kind of suck though, because my dad's a biker and there's not really many places to bike around here.
There are though.
Oh, there are.
Well, I mean, it just depends where you are, of course. There's kind of areas that are awkward, but yeah, the Santa Monica has some good shit actually.
Oh. It's just giving citizens arrest to me.
I think that was my issue too. And like, it's like, honestly, a lot of the conflict rules play. It's like, you're going to call names and stuff like that. That's going to put me in a much different attitude towards you.
Totally.
But like, also like saying it's against the rules isn't great either. But if you're like, if he had opened up on like, hey man, you realize those aren't allowed and you're kicking up dust, that's getting in my eyes.
Right.
I would have been like, I'm so sorry.
Like, I didn't realize it.
Yeah. Like that. And it would have been over so quick. And like, it just does line up with all the rules we talk about of making it about me and how it's actually affecting you, you know. But the more I talk to them, the more it really wasn't affecting them. But like, so anyway.
Well, that's like in San Diego, in Coronado. Max's family has a place there, and there's a like little boardwalk along the beach basically. And it's kind of almost like the one in Venice, and I rollerblade on that one. But this one, you're not allowed to have any wheels on it. And like, I did realize that, but I was just like, whatever, like, who am I hurting? I'm not going that fast. And it would always bother me, the people that were like, you're not supposed to have wheels here. I'm like, am I bothering you? Are you the police? Are you security? Like, let me do my thing. Let them be the ones to yell at me. I don't know.
I mean, I guess I felt like I lost a legion. I thought it was fair to not go on a path that was specifically fought for mountain bikes and lost. I'm kind of like, okay. But like on sidewalks, you're technically supposed to take like a scooter or a bike, not on a sidewalk in LA. And it's like, I don't want to do that. Like, that's dangerous. It feels really scary to me. So that's my concession.
Now, was the guy white?
Yeah. These are both white people. And actually, I told this to another friend. They're like, this just sounds like a whole white people incident. Yeah, just a bunch of white people being mad about nothing.
Yeah. I remember there was, I'm going to butcher it, I think, but like, we were on a trail one time and my friend's dog wasn't on a leash and this woman was being a major biatch.
That was my counter. I forgot about that. That was my counter. I was like, oh, I'm breaking a rule. What about all the people on this path who have small dogs not on leashes? And people do that.
Yeah.
Constantly.
And so this one woman was like giving them shit about not having the dog on the leash. And then like our friend afterwards was like, God damn it. I just thought of a really good comeback of like, well, then why aren't you on one? Or like something like that.
Boom. Then Max comes in. Yeah, you dog face. Whoa, Max. Too hard on that one.
Yes. Classic. Well, I say NTA, especially because you left.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay.
Absolutely.
And I did do it one more time, but at night. I did it at night. And there was one guy who was like, one-wheelers are out at night.
Do you have a little flashlight on your couch?
I got the head flashlight.
I think do that.
It was terrifying. No, it was really scary to go at night.
It's not safe,
scary to go at night. This is kind of cool. So we have this listener, Sam, such a sweetheart. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know this. She had sent me a Tumblr.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sam. But I didn't realize she had made it. I thought she just got it made.
No. And then I had them made for Jake and I.
Yeah.
And more recently, she and I were talking and I was like, maybe you can put like some of our stickers on it too.
Yeah.
As like our sticker images.
Right.
And so she is making these awesome tumblers. And if you guys want to get them, you can either get our logo on it or you can get like any one of our stickers. They're $30, which includes shipping.
I think that's very reasonable. And they're nice.
They're nice. And they come with a straw. They have a lid too. And they keep things like hot or cold for a while. So they're very insulated as well. Great quality. And if you guys want them, they would make awesome Christmas gifts for your friends or any other fans of the podcast, or just for yourself. Treat yourself.
You deserve it.
So check out our Instagram. I put up photos of, she made 2 examples of the ones with one of our stickers or our stickers on them, and then one with our logo. And then, so you can see them on there. And if you want them, DM her Instagram, which is at Green Eggs and Sam 1983.
Green Eggs and Sam, S-A-M, 1983.
And we'll put it in the description of this episode.
Yeah.
And if somehow you can't get a hold of her, like, let us know. But we would love for you guys to have these.
There we go. And please rate, review, subscribe. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. We look forward to seeing you on there.
And those will make good Christmas gifts too. Get some on our little Patreon.
Yeah, and I have to do the cameo. I've got to shoot this cameo. I think I told you about that. Yeah, I got to shoot a cameo.
Don't say who it's for. It's a surprise.
It's a surprise, but I will be willing to do cameos for some money, $50. I'll do it for $50. I think that's reasonable.
Well, that's what you said, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, that was my first one.
Oh, you have more?
No, I'm saying now if there were to do more. How much would you do?
It's just
you know what? How much would me and you do it for? Let's set how about we do 75 for both of us? We can just do it at the recording.
Yeah, I guess.
That's reasonable.
I don't know. Let's see what the listeners are willing to pay. No, I would think less.
It's our time. No, Shannon, we're not going down. $75. You want a cameo?
What
me and
about
Shannon?
Chonky's on it? My seal here.
Chonky, we charge only $70 if it's just you holding Chonky.
$5.
All right, guys, we got a juicy app for you today. Our second story of the day: AITA for hosting my own Thanksgiving after my daughter-in-law didn't invite me to hers. But first, Shanny. Many of you are looking for gifts for the men in your life. Manscaped is our sponsor today. You know, look, I like to keep it clean down there. You guys know I'm big on hygiene, and I have not really had the technology to be able to implement what I want downstairs. But with Manscaped, I'm being totally transparent. I got the cleanest shave I've ever gotten, and I didn't make my balls bleed, something I've actually done before, which wasn't a big fan of. I think this is an awesome gift for the men in your life. It's a great value. You get the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, which is basically the shaver. You get the Weed Whacker 2.0 ear and nose trimmer, Manscaped's liquid formulation, plus 2 free gifts. One of them is a really nice pair of boxers. I was really impressed with the overall premium and luxury quality of everything. I think it's a banger of a gift. Even the bag is really nice. It's called the Shed 2.0. I was like, okay, this is pretty sick. Manscaped.com/AITA pod for 20% off and free shipping. Plus, I'm pretty sure they got all kinds of Black Friday deals. Check it out. Trigger warning, guys. There's a couple of botches here and then a potential just dicey thing. So the botches involve misgendering. We fucked up, and this individual was NB, and I think we referred to them as he a few times. We're sorry. We respect everyone's gender. I think we just got caught up in it and our heteronormative bullshit. So sorry about that.
This is a listener submission, y'all. AITA for skipping Thanksgiving when my mom bought my flight already. I, 20F, am currently in college 3 states away from my hometown. My mom bought me a ticket home for Thanksgiving a few months back, and it is non-refundable. Originally, that was not an issue. I'd requested the time off already, and I had made arrangements for my cat to be taken care of while I'm out of state.
Gotta do it.
However... 2 months ago, I decided to cut contact with my older sibling, 25, non-binary, as they abused me throughout my childhood, both physically and mentally. I finally made the push to cut them off while we were attending my cousin's wedding. My whole family rented an Airbnb for 4 days, and our rooms were next to each other. I made it through the long weekend, yet they were not anything less than cruel to me. I won't go into specifics since it was pretty revolting. Oof. After the weekend, my dad drove me to the airport to fly home. On the way, I sent them a text basically saying I'd prefer if they no longer contacted me, as I knew I deserved better treatment. Fast forward to now, my flight home is approaching, and I asked my mom and dad which house my sibling was planning on staying, and was shocked to find out they moved into my room at my dad's house. I said it was fine and that I would just stay with mom, but was told that it was unfair that my sibling would be exiled from my mom's house for the holiday. I offered to pay my mom back for the flight or find a friend back home that I could stay with. Everyone thinks I'm being dramatic, that it's only for a few days with my sibling and I should just put up with it. We do share a room at my mom's house. Ugh. My thought is that I've put up with their abuse for 20 long years, and it took a lot of growth on my end to cut them off. I've told my family I do not need their support, as my sibling is their child too. But I'd appreciate if they tried to see my side of things. AITA?
I really love the dismount on that. I think that's a very fair ask. And actually that does, to me, heavily put me on OP's side.
Yeah, where
she's not saying banish her from the family. She's saying, I just honestly really appreciate if you could just understand where I'm coming from. That's a very reasonable ask.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it's fair at all that they're calling her dramatic. I mean, that's just completely minimizing your feelings.
Yeah, completely unproductive way to approach this as parents. You know, I think we've been coming back on this a lot, you know, because in conflicts, especially conflicts between your children, you know, you really want to resolve the conflict. You don't want to choose a winner and a loser. Right. You want them to work it out and figure out what's going on here. Let's get to the bottom of this.
And it's basically just also negating any of this abuse that's been going on for the past 20 something years, both physically and mentally.
This is a horrible situation for parents to deal with.
I know. I mean, and it's also like, why can't you accommodate for this request? I mean, there's two homes. You literally do have a father and a mother that have a house.
Right.
So this is like the one situation where it is actually very beneficial that the parents have two different homes because there's an issue within the children. I'm hoping that they can work things out, but I completely understand if what OP is saying that has been going on for the past 20 years of like standing your ground and cutting out the negativity out of your life. So I don't understand why the parents can't just be understanding, like they said, it's just for a few days. Well, if it's just for a few days, why can't the sibling just be at the dad's house then for those 4 days? If it's just 4 days, why can't that request be accommodated?
Yeah, I mean, it really does seem terrible to me. The approach here of, you know, you're being dramatic, which is, you're right, it's minimization. I mean, it's rounding to zero.
Yeah.
They're not even minimizing. They're just saying like, it doesn't matter. We're not really going to deal with what
family's family, blood's thicker than water, you know, that whole trope.
I mean, it's giving golden child is kind of my analysis of this. You know, this person has been treated so terribly, you know, for so long. Maybe it's just part of the whole dynamic. I mean, that's kind of how something like that can flourish so easily. Is that it's not being called out. Nobody is seeing OP's side at any point.
Yeah.
But OP doesn't say anything else negative about their family, so that's kind of a good sign. But you know, and also like I guess the other aspect of this too is as parents, I guess my view would be like, even if I did happen to think, right, that OP was being absurd, that they're being ridiculous for whatever reason, maybe it is a ridiculous thing for it, like not in this situation, but like that, you know, the sibling reminds them of someone or whatever, something like that, where it wouldn't really be directly their fault. I would still accommodate it.
That would be kind of insane if the person that you've known your entire life reminds you of somebody else that you met later in life.
Well, but someone that fucked with you or whatever, someone that
no, I know. It's usually the other way around, that like the person you meet later in life reminds you of your sibling.
Well, no, but the sibling would still work backwards, right? Because they're associated. They're associated with each other.
Yeah.
So my point being that even if it was irrational, you know, like, you know, feelings are still valid, and I would still be like, hey, you know, unfortunately this is a situation, so we're gonna kind of split Thanksgiving because your sister is going through something. I mean, isn't that I feel like that's pretty reasonable.
Totally. And it was only 2 months ago that this happened. Like, I could almost understand for the parents to be like, it's been a year, it's been 2 years, like, let's try and get the siblings together and like mend this relationship. But she just cut it off with her sibling, you know? So it's like space does need to happen at this point in time, I would say. Unless, but it also doesn't sound like here at all that the parents are like, we are concerned, we want to mend this. Like, no, it's just like, well, what's the issue? I don't understand.
I mean, they're basically Darvoing on behalf of the...
What's Darvoing?
Deny, attack, reverse victim, offender. It's like pretty low key version of it, but they're saying like your feelings are wrong and they don't matter, and you're being dramatic. You're the wrong one.
Yeah, who cares?
You know, it's pretty much that, which is extremely hard on OP. And yeah, I don't honestly. I think like a lot of conflict. I think like if I had a family, God forbid, with an issue like this, like I wouldn't focus on solving it. I would focus on like listening. You know, like let's get into it. Like you can't force people to convene. I think that's going to lead to all kinds of problems. The first step is just being there for them.
And I mean, I can definitely see, because also like this is a holiday, like at least Thanksgiving Day, like you would want your whole family to spend it together, but blaming her is not the appropriate way to go about it, because also the other option is that she doesn't come, or she stays with a friend. So then you're not going to be getting this quality time with her. So you're basically choosing like, oh, well, the other sibling like needs to go to mom's house. Like, this is unfair that you exile him. So then you're going to be exiled. Right. But no, we're okay with exiling you. And I don't think that you should feel bad about this non-refundable flight. Like, I hope you have no guilt about this, because they're not being reasonable. Yeah, they're choosing the sibling over you. I
see golden child here because it's so extreme. I mean, look, I could see if the situation was, we hear you, OP, we hear you, we've thought about it. We don't think it's fair to exile our 25-year-old, but we are going to do a mini Thanksgiving with you and the siblings that want to come. You know, as the parents, we're going to bring you a turkey and stuff at 7:30 after the main Thanksgiving, and we hate the situation. Obviously, we want our family to be together, but we're here for you. We want to see you on Thanksgiving. We want to be here for you. How would this sound? Yeah.
And then do something with him on Friday or earlier in the day.
No, I'm saying they don't want to exile him from the whole family Thanksgiving, right? And I think that is a reasonable thing. Given that I know OP is saying they're abused, et cetera.
Because the mom is hosting. Is that what we're led to believe?
Yeah, well, there has to be a central Thanksgiving, right? Or are there two Thanksgivings that are parallel, so they go back and forth?
Mom and dad.
So then it's like so ridiculous. Why can't we just alternate?
Right. It's kind of like with Thanksgiving, like you really can make it any day you want. Like if Thursday wasn't working, like you could totally do it Friday or Saturday. Like,
well, but they want to do like
one all together.
I guess that's what I assume. I mean, maybe I'm just bringing my 4-person family dynamic to it.
Well, I think the parents are not together.
So they're going to have separate Thanksgivings anyway.
That's why it's like, look, it's like the 25-year-old sibling took her room in her dad's home. And then she is like, okay, fine, I'll stay at mom's. But then they're like, well, okay, but then that's not fair that sibling can't come to mom's house. Why? They have a room at dad's.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's a complicated thing. I'm not going to sit here and say I know what to do. It just generally does feel like OP was told you are 0%.
Yeah, it doesn't
We're giving
matter.
you nothing for this. And I don't think that's fair.
No. And I feel like I would, if you haven't like tried to level with your parents again about this and maybe make your feelings more clear, like maybe they're not fully understanding like what really happened or what's going on. Maybe you're not comfortable sharing with them everything, but like you could potentially like try and have a real conversation with them about this and see if you get any ground doing that.
Yeah, I mean, it's so ugly how they're treating OP is basically, they're closing their ears. And I think that can put people in a very fearful place. She's not comfortable to share. She feels like if she shares, what she's going to be told is, well, you misinterpreted that or whatever, some other form of denial. Right. I'm honestly, the more I think about this, I'm like, it does sound like this person abused you, but your parents are also culpable. right? To let this dynamic fester for so long.
Enabling.
Yeah, they're saying 20
truly
years.
Never saw it, and then Opie literally never spoke up. But there's no, I feel like there's no
Opie's saying
possible lie.
Opie's 20 years old. So it's basically this person has been abusing you your entire childhood, including when they were a child. That definitely falls on your parents.
Yeah, true.
You know, so there's an aspect of this where maybe that they don't want to take responsibility because they know that they fucked up. And that actually really adds up to me because that's part of this. That, well, what you're saying, we did something wrong too, aren't you, OP?
Yeah.
You know, so this sounds horrible, OP. I feel for you. You shouldn't feel any kind of guilt about this. AITA for skipping Thanksgiving when my mom bought my flight already. I think we agree wholeheartedly. NTA and nuclear, your parents are. I actually put the parents at the top of my blame list here.
Wow. I mean, the one that's doing the physical and mental abuse is up there as well.
But when they were 5 years old, are they responsible for that? Like, I feel like this thing has been festering. I'm going by OP's own words.
True.
Bottom line, guys.
Best of luck.
Best of luck. Thanks for the submission, OP. Hope that was helpful. Much love. Guys, please review, subscribe, join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. Over, I think we're at 190 now. We're getting close. Bonus episodes, vibrant Discord, and lots of good discussions. Here we go. AITA for hosting my own Thanksgiving after my daughter-in-law didn't invite me to hers.
Oof,
my daughter-in-law doesn't like me. My son got her pregnant in college, and I told him to get a paternity test since he was not exclusive with her and she wasn't either. He told me she was seeing other people. He did, and he is the father. The first time I met her, she told me it was not a pleasure to meet the person who thinks she is a whore. I never called her that. I tried to explain, but got caught off by my son. He and I had a convo, and he told me to drop it. Shotgun wedding and 1 kid later, our relationship is strained. I see her at family events, but that's really it. I've been blown off so many times when inviting them out that I don't anymore. I have accepted that. I won't be a strong presence in their lives or my grandkids. Now the family rotates who does holidays. It's her turn to host Thanksgiving. I sent a text asking what time I should be over and if they want me to bring anything. She told me I wasn't invited, but my husband is. I talked it over with him and we decided to host our own. I informed the other kids what happened and I will have dinner at my place if they want to come. Well, none of the other kids are going to my son's now and I'm getting texts from her and my son that I'm acting like a jerk and to cancel my Thanksgiving. AITA.
What did they expect to happen? That she was just going to sit at home alone while her husband goes to their Thanksgiving?
Yeah, what did they think that she would do?
At the very least, she and her husband wouldn't go and they would have their own Thanksgiving. But like, how cruel is that to take a mother away from like her and her children's Thanksgiving? It's kind of strange.
That's very
like
strange.
when your parents are still alive and close enough to have Thanksgiving and holidays with them, like I at least know when I'm an adult, like that's what I try to make happen.
I'm going. My mom's making her famous tortillas. These things she makes them
homemade.
Fresh. They're fat and fresh. They're so fucking
corn.
good. No.
Oh,
flour. I'm a flour boy. Yeah.
Oh, I'm a corn girl.
Corn taco. I like corn on tacos. But,
okay.
But just bare tortilla.
Oh, can you bring any of those home?
Honestly, I could, but they don't translate. No, it's still good, but it's like not magical.
We'll have to get her to make them sometime because that sounds good. Well, what do you guys use the tortillas for on Thanksgiving? You do like a little bit of a different
special
thing?
requested. No, it's not part of her. It's not part of her menu, but I was like special request because it's my birthday right there. You know.
It's gonna be his birthday. Monday.
Tortillas. Yeah, Monday.
This upcoming Monday.
November the 27th. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be good old 27. There we go. Using my own joke.
Your golden birthday.
Everybody's favorite year to be. Now I'll be 34. I'll be 34.
34.
Yeah.
34, you whore.
Okay. Thanks, Shannon.
That's what they say.
Appreciate that. I
29 looking fine. 34, you
Is
whore.
that the phrase? I'm
That's
not familiar with that. Okay. Well, I won't take it as an insult. Apparently it's a phrase. Yeah, so I wanted to go. This is I think a thing. Now I do think that some people are way too sensitive about this, and I personally have ruined a friendship or two over something like this.
Oh wow, let's hear it.
Yeah. It's when somebody is first dating someone, you know, sometimes people are stupid and ridiculous, you know, and basically like the mistake I made was I made some stupid throwaway joke that got back to the new girlfriend. And I don't even remember what it was. It was like, oh, I like the old girlfriend. I think that's all I said. It was stupid. It was a throwaway thing.
Distasteful, I'd say.
Sure. Well, I didn't say it to her.
Oh.
God, no.
Oh, yeah,
No,
it got
God,
back
no.
to
I'm not
her,
insane. And
right,
it got back
right.
to her. And, apparently it was taken
That's
very personally.
Your friend should not have gone and told his girlfriend that.
Exactly.
What, you're not allowed to
He did it.
stay?
No, he didn't. It wasn't his fault. I'm not blaming him.
Oh, somebody else did?
Yeah, it was apparently I didn't realize that like I was basically at a brunch in a totally different city. I made this stupid throwaway joke
With
and then
one of
that
her
stupid friend repeated it
friends.
and then it got taken in a very serious manner. And anyway, the thing I'm on about though, when someone is dating someone new is one example. Now, personally, I would understand. For instance, I tell you about a date I went on and I'm like, yeah, I'm not really sure about it. And then you go, fuck her.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm.
Some people would then use that against you later.
Yeah.
Like if me and her happen to work out because they're being childish.
You do have to really be careful what you say about somebody else's significant other, because even if they break up, you want to still be a little careful and not be completely honest, because then if they get back together, you're like, oop, I didn't say that. I saw TikTok going around being like, me dancing at my best friend's wedding when I told her to leave him 6 months ago, or like something like that, where it's just like, and then you're there and you're having to like be around them. And when they know how you feel, it just makes the whole situation pretty awkward.
Yeah, I mean, you're starting to get into boundarylessness. Like, because if you're letting the SO know as well, then you're really fucking up. Like, if I was like dating this new girl and I'm like, yeah, my podcast co-host thinks you suck. Like, no, now I'm really fucking shit up.
Well, yeah, because then you're ruining the relationship between two people in your life. Exactly. So then you're only hurting yourself because then you're the one that's going to have to deal with it.
I love chaos.
He sure does, folks.
Look, I think mom, I understand. I'm not completely for. Now, she also took it, and this is what I'm talking about. She also kind of took it in a very dramatic, histrionic way and interpreted what the mother said as we're calling her a whore.
No, yeah,
that ain't what she said.
How is that not a reasonable request to have your young son, your college age son, who is probably not ready to be a parent, to get a paternity test?
It's reasonable, but I understand how she was in a tough spot there,
Who, the girlfriend?
Yeah. I can see how she took it offensively, like, oh, so you think I just got all kinds of cum in me? Like, it doesn't make zero sense.
I guess, but I think it's reasonable, and I also think that it's especially because they weren't exclusive for a period of time, that it would be like, okay, yeah, I do get what you mean. No,
I think it's an apology worthy though.
For the OP to be like, for the OP's mom, OP to be like, I'm sorry that
once she's pregnant with your son's child, you better tonally shift. Hey, I just want to let you know, I didn't know the whole circumstance. Because you know what else it is? It's a little bit like her. It's about her.
The girlfriend?
Yes. In other words, it's kind of saying, even though you're right, I don't think it's totally unreasonable, but depending how it played off, it's a little bit saying like, my son would never. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You got knocked up, right? And it's taking the agency away from him. He's like, I didn't do anything.
True.
And it's like, yeah, you fucking did, bro. Yeah, you fucking did.
I can see that, yeah. And I definitely can see like getting offended, being like, oh, what, you think I don't know who my child's father is? Like, you think I'm lying? Like, I feel like most of the time you can probably, unless you had two incidences or multiple incidences where it was like, oh shit, like I probably accidentally got pregnant then. Like, it's probably not that common that you would just be like not using protection and
with multiple people.
It's like
so, she emotionally, I get what happened there.
Right.
She was offended by it.
And I think I would be like, oh, wow, really? Like, your mom doesn't believe that I'm telling the truth, which I definitely see the emotion around it all. But I can also see the mom's perspective of like wanting to just make sure.
Sure. No, and I got a problem with mom being like, I think that would be a good idea. But I do believe here, at least from how I'm reading this, I don't see that mom kind of mended that. That's going to be a botch, Well,
apparently she did try to explain, but then the son cut her off.
Yeah, so he's kind of interfering, it sounds like.
Yeah. I actually did see a comment down here about a theory. Sounds like your son probably threw you under the bus over the paternity test and never informed her that you knew the two of them weren't exclusive. or he lied about them not being exclusive and she doesn't know about that. I
mean, these are young people. I don't trust a young man like this to be, I feel like
tactful about it.
Tactful, or also that, I mean, just this guy of this age is probably not like, look, they're both in a tough spot. It's not really an ideal situation to get pregnant in college with some fucking schmuck.
Right.
And I could see him like not really having the emotional wherewithal and understanding to be like, it's kind of important that we mend the old ship with mom and GF instead of probably protecting his ego because he said some comment at some point, which like doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
He's not gonna be able to see the bigger picture because he's fucking 20 years old.
Exactly. I think the other thing too is that it just kind of snowballed more than it needed to be. I understand the girlfriend is young. I mean, I don't think I would have ever gone up to the grandmother of my soon-to-be child and say, oh, I heard you think I'm a whore. I can see being upset or offended and maybe have a little chip on my shoulder towards her, but I would never show her that.
But we don't know. We don't know what he fed her.
Right. And that's the problem.
He's basically a moron.
Yeah. So maybe it sounds like he really did say like, my mom's making me ask you for a paternity test.
Yeah, he might have even put that word out there. We don't know. I can see him doing that. Like, cause he wanted to make, she also said you're a whore. Nah,
I don't think he would have said that, but he would have probably been like, yeah, because like you probably hooked up with people when we weren't exclusive.
I mean,
and she's like, oh, so she thinks I'm a whore.
She didn't say that exactly. Yeah, I can see that playing out. I can see that playing out. But let's read this update.
I sent a text with screenshots about not being invited to my son's house. According to him, he didn't even know I wasn't invited and thought I was hosting to piss off his wife. He sent texts that confirm that. I have called my daughter-in-law to ask about how he presented the paternity test and if they were exclusive at the time. She didn't pick up, so I will ask again over text and give my side of the story. Apparently, they dated for like 2 months, had a break, became fuck buddies again, got back together, and then she found out she was pregnant. He presented it to me.
He presented it as me forcing him to have the test.
Thank you.
I just think this is a sore spot. It's a sour situation. These are, and I'm also like saying how immature he is. She's obviously immature too. Like things got real. You have a kid with someone, things got real fast. You know what I mean? You ain't got 3 Onewheels when you got a kid.
That's true. You gotta stay alive for the kids. I think if I were the mom, like with this whole calling and not answering and then texting and like first of all, everyone out there, don't text.
Thank you. I'm so relieved you're saying that. It's so weird.
Hate when people try and have serious conversations with me over text. I'm like, no, let's talk in person or on the phone. Like I cannot do this over text. And it's very immature. Like I've had serious conversations like when I was younger over text. But like now that I'm an adult, like I don't think Max and I ever had a serious conversation over text once in our lives. Like we barely even text. It'll just be like, oh, when are you coming home? Okay, see you then, Like the people that are texting like paragraphs and stuff. No, you can't, guys. Everything will get misinterpreted, like tone especially.
And it gets all litigatey and lawyer. You need the emotions. It's mostly, and I think that's true about almost all things. People think it's about logic, but most conflicts are not about logic. They're about emotions.
And that's why I almost feel like she just needs to sit down with both of them in person and just be like, look, this truly had nothing to do with you specifically. I just wanted to make sure that my son wasn't getting into a situation that wasn't his situation.
I kind of feel like that I don't know if this is crazy, but hey, I'd really like to take you out to lunch someday or something, sweet Abigail. And, I'd like to buy you lunch and just connect a little because obviously got off on the wrong foot. Son is acting as interference here and fucking it up.
Yeah, maybe it would be better for them to just like together. But I can also see the son like interfering and be like, no, babe, like you shouldn't, because I feel like he's hiding something.
Yeah.
Well, he at least I think at the very least, we can safely say that he presented it as if she was forcing it, which actually, I mean, maybe that is the truth.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, who gives a fuck? Like, none of it matters now. It's like, okay, well, maybe he was sleeping around. Yeah, he's 20 in college. Right. I'm sure he was sleeping around.
And she probably was too, and no fucking shame. Who cares?
The reality is now you got a baby. It's a serious thing. And, you know, I think mom could be a little more proactive here. I think she was put in a bad position. I think this is a little bit messy, but I don't know. I guess part of me is like, they're so young, they're so immature. It's kind of being figured out. I hope that mom can step up here because she is the adult, you know, she is the most true adult here. And I don't necessarily have a huge problem with what she did because it just sounds like, I think son is probably the biggest problem here.
He's fucking it up. Like we were just talking about earlier is like, wait, sorry, I was on the phone with someone else talking about this earlier, is like a lot of times when you're the reason why two people have to communicate with each other. Like it's your family member, your friend. Like the only reason why they have a relationship is because of you. Like you have to be kind of a facilitator in like making sure that they have like a good relationship by like not telling the other person what the other one said about them and like not throwing the other person under the bus because you want the people in your life to have a good relationship. I guess that's sort of what we were talking about too.
Yeah, I agree. But I also think it's not against the parent laws to be like, you know, forget my son. I want to build a relationship with you.
Yeah, because it is your daughter-in-law. It is the mother of your grandchild. You should want to have a good relationship with her.
And I feel like how young they are is just huge. AITA for hosts.
Hold on though. One other thing though.
Here we go.
Is I also just want to say that is so messed up to not invite your mother-in-law to Thanksgiving. Like, can I just give a big old ding to her? No matter if you were so offended, like, first of all, I think the punishment is not fitting the crime here. The fact that she's like, well, we're not comfortable with you being at our house for Thanksgiving, but like your husband can come. She's being really immature and petty.
I guess, but I just don't know what he's been saying. I feel like they're kids.
I'm digging the son too.
I'm vying for ESH NAH paradox here. I feel like mom didn't really step up to the plate here and realize these are a couple kiddos and she kind of needs to step it up here with daughter-in-law. Like it's not really okay to just be like, oh, my daughter-in-law doesn't like me. I guess she's just kind of a It's like, okay, no, ma'am.
Yeah.
You need to
make
proactive
more of an effort.
Yes. And you can't be taking your 20-year-old son on his word here.
I always think back to when I was that age and yes, I did stupid things, but like, I just don't think I would ever behave in this kind of way. And a lot of times I think we think of like, oh yeah, they're 20. That's so young. But like a 20-year-old is mature enough to not be pulling shit like this.
I don't know if that's true. I mean, I think it just depends.
They should be.
I think a 40-year-old is acting immature here as well.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's like, yeah, you're the parent. You need to step up. Like, you know, you're talking about facilitating relationships. Like, yeah, well, from a parent to a child, that's kind of on her. Like, yeah, as a parent, you can't just be like, well, I'm hands off with my daughter-in-law. I don't really give a fuck. It's like, your son just impregnated someone young. Like, it's time. It's time to wake up.
You're right. And instead of being petty and being like, we'll all just throw a Thanksgiving instead, like, you should have been like, okay, babe, let's go out to lunch. We need to talk.
Yes, exactly. So can we meet?
I can go ESH. I think that they both suck.
ESH. I'm comfortable with that.
I don't think I can say NAH because I think there's definitely some.
I get NAH just that this is obviously a fucking complicated thing. Yeah. And this is hard for everybody. Nobody wanted this probably, you know. So AITA for hosting my own Thanksgiving after my daughter-in-law didn't invite me to hers. We agree. It's ESH. Guys, please rate, review, subscribe. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. Shanny, take it away. I think we're going to wrap up on this.
Which one's better?
We have two more. AITA for not going to Thanksgiving at my brother's new house, or AITA for sitting on my husband's lap.
Come on. The lap is way better.
We got to go lap sit, guys.
Lap sit. Okay. AITA for sitting on my husband's lap during Thanksgiving dinner because all the chairs at the table were taken. I, 28F, have been with my husband, Shan, 33M, for 2 years, married for 5 months. Most of his family are decent people, but his mom can be a little passive-aggressive and tends to criticize me a lot. Shan sees it as her quote, still not getting used to me being around. But I don't know, because she treats his ex, Julissa, really well. Mother-in-law says that Julissa has been around the family for ages and her past with Shan never affected her relationship with her. Fine. I never minded her attending every holiday and being around until yesterday. We had Thanksgiving dinner at my mother-in-law's house. Shan went there before me, and when I arrived, it was already dinner time. Everyone was seated, and I saw that all chairs were taken. I asked my mother-in-law why she didn't save me a seat. She said sorry, and that one of her granddaughters decided to show up last minute and the chair was taken. I looked at her and then at Julissa, who was sitting next to Shan, and tried to point out how I was more deserving of her chair since I'm the daughter-in-law. Look, I know I shouldn't have said that. I know. Well, my mother-in-law flat out said that Julissa is as much family as me and that it was rude to imply otherwise. Julissa was nodding confidently while glancing at me. Well, I was so upset I wanted to leave, but I decided to just sit on my husband's lap and act as casual as possible. I sat on his lap asking if he was okay with it. I'm petite and he's strong built, and started eating so casually while smiling and complimenting the food and mentioning it to Shan how warm and comfortable his lap was every now and then. The table went awkwardly silent. Brother-in-law would try to break the silence and change the subject, but it somehow went back to being awkward every time. Mother-in-law and Julissa were barely eating and just staring at each other, then at me with eyes wide open. Minutes later, Julissa excused herself to the bathroom, and so did mother-in-law. Later, there was just so much tension, and mother-in-law was barely able to speak after Julissa left, which was pretty early, like right after the dinner. Shan and I went home, and mother-in-law called Shan and texted me saying what I did was inappropriate and that I ruined Thanksgiving dinner. She said it wasn't her fault that all the chairs were taken and I could have dragged a chair from the kitchen. There wasn't enough space at dinner table to even fit the chair. Everyone was sitting so close to each other, and that I acted childishly and made Julissa and everyone uncomfortable with how appropriate I was. AITA.
Yeah, so the table was totally full, totally booked. I'm just like, what? There's already to me a fundamental problem with that. I'm like, what kind of host would it make sure that everyone has a place to sit? That's kind of
a petty one.
Yeah. So
someone that has a issue with their son being married to this woman.
But who is that? Because then who's Julissa?
Julissa's the ex of Shan, OP's husband.
Julissa is the ex. Why is the ex there?
Because they have the mother-in-law and her have their own relationship, and she's just been around the family for ages. She clearly wants Julissa and her son to be together. She loves Julissa, and she just still comes around to holiday events.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's this is just insane.
Yeah. I feel like she's just clearly not being a good host at all, because if one person shows up, you got to then be like, oh, we have another person on the way. Let me figure it out. At the end, she says, you could have just dragged a chair from the kitchen. Why didn't you get up and drag the chair from the kitchen? You're the host. But
yeah, but
the husband is the one that should have been got up, gave his wife the seat, and then went and figured it out. He should have been more chivalrous in this situation, I think.
Yeah, I could throw a ding there. I mean, I'm just look, we got to live in reality here. Julissa, the fact that Julissa is here is just not appropriate.
I don't think so either.
It's just not appropriate. I don't care what her relationship is, and this is, and I struggle here because I know we've had lesbians on the show that say that the whole exes can be friends thing. And I get it. Fine. I'm very comfortable saying that, different rules for gay people. Great. But I think in the straight world, to me, this is toxic for Julissa too. It's this is over, sweetie. Yeah. This guy's married to someone else. Why the fuck are you at his Thanksgiving? Is your family there? This is just the math ain't math in here.
It's pretty weird. I mean, she said that she's been around the family for ages and her past with Shan never affected her relationship with her. That's what the mother-in-law says. It's strange. I have a decent relationship with one of my ex-boyfriends. It's how I know Max, because his younger brother and Max went to college together. Mm-hmm. So when I moved out here, I didn't know a ton of people, and I was hanging out with my ex's brother and all of his friends. And by that time, my ex and I were cool. Like, we didn't talk much or anything, but we were like on a good page. So every now and then I am around his family. I don't think I've ever been around. No, I've never been around when he had a new girlfriend. Like, I've never met any of his girlfriends past this point. But yeah, there's definitely been times over the past like decade where I've been with the family. But it's not like I'm like just hanging around.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. If you were at a birthday party or something like that. But this is Thanksgiving dinner. It's a thing for family. And that's just not really like, why don't you have your own family? Or like...
These two are plotting.
Exactly. And it's like that they're clearly plotting. They're clearly sending a message here. So yeah, I'm ready to throw Shan a ding, but I'm like, it's pretty obvious what you guys are doing. Like, you're shitting on OP. You're trying to make her feel shitty. And she kind of rubbed your face in it. And honestly, like, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, I like it.
It's a little gross to be like, yeah, his lap is so big.
Moist and covered.
Oh, God, moist. You made it moist. That's not in there. You're nasty. Why would you want a lap to be moist? What is this, a swamp lap?
Swamp ass.
Swamp
She's got
chest.
swamp ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that, like, I would feel so weird. Like, I think I would feel weird sitting on Max's lap in front of his family, like, period, let alone like at a dinner table where it's just inappropriate.
There is a way to sit on someone's lap that isn't sexual at all. Like, if you sit on their knee. I guess that's sitting on their knee, though. Sitting on their lap means like butt to crotch, basically.
Yeah, or if it's like you're kind of turned onto the side and then your arms around them, so it's like a little bit more like not as like ass to dick.
Ass to dick.
But
yeah,
like, so I can definitely, like, so ballsy of her, but also it's probably like the last straw for her. It's like, you're so clearly excluding me from this family. Like, here is like
it's ridiculous
and clear as glass example of it right here, where I'm literally not in the inner circle.
Yeah.
Wow, that was so astute of me.
Okay, giving yourself the Pulitzer there, huh, Shan? Have it, girl. I also like this line that OP acted childishly and made Julissa uncomfortable.
Who gives a fuck what Julissa thinks?
Yeah,
not me.
I think Julissa made OP uncomfortable too. This is so weird.
For being there, she just loves Julissa. I think that the mother-in-law wants to actually be with Julissa.
There we go. You nasty for that.
Conspiracy theories.
And she was getting jealous because she's like, I wish Julissa was on my lap now.
That's why I didn't include enough chairs.
Yeah, I want that swamp lap. Come here, Julissa.
Interesting name, by the way.
I like it. It's kind of Melissa meets Julie.
Yeah, little combo.
It's nice.
Julissa.
I was thinking of Shaniel. I was remixing our name. Shaniel or Dannon. Oh, Dannon. That's yogurt. Dannon. That's good. We love a good dairy.
For one of the stickers, our next sticker, it should be like a Dannon thing.
Oh, that's fun.
With like whatever, like, you know, OP
Yoplait
was
or
whatever.
Something. Oh, Yoplait has OP in it. That could be fun.
No,
anyway.
but is Dannon Yoplait?
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Oh, is Dannon Yoplait? No, I don't know.
It could be
yogurt.
Yeah,
I guess I just feel like I'm struggling here to ding on OP's behalf.
I still think Shan should have gotten up and done something about this. The fact that he just sat there like letting the three women in his life duke it out.
I think maybe Shan was just like, I don't even know what to do right now.
Do the chivalrous thing and get up.
That's his mom, right?
It's his mom. It's his whole family. He should have been like, oh, babe, sorry. Like, you sit in here and I'll figure it out. I'll go get a chair, or I'll sit I'll sit on the
he should have done
bar counter.
He should have done that.
Yes.
That's a no-brainer.
He absolutely should
Okay, so when it comes to the verdict, AITA for sitting on my husband's lap, well, it's NTA and the mother, Julissa, and Shan slightly are.
I think so too, because I would have felt really abandoned by my partner if they like let this play out.
Well, hold on. Let me just, I don't know why I'm feeling slightly defensive about Shan. Actually, one of our dear listeners, father's name is Shan. And he's
what
a great guy.
random. Do you
know
him?
Yeah, I do know. Okay. I love him. It's Justine, whose wedding I went to.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
He's a really good guy.
Shan with a U?
I don't know.
That's how they write it
I don't
here.
usually go, how do you spell that
How do you
there?
spell that?
How do you spell that, buddy?
I actually like to know because I envision someone's name when I talk to them. I like to know the spelling of it so I can kind of get like a better idea, you know?
What the fuck was that? Was that hold music? What did that mean? I like that. Like it's when it's like a diss thing. Your mom is so fat, she's a plant.
Like you got like gloating.
It's a really weird thing to do, but I kind of love it. Did you just put me on hold? Hello?
Elevator music. Anyway, Sean's a great guy.
Yeah, Sean. We love Sean. So anyway, but the point is that... Well, because what I was trying to ask Shannon is if Sean's there, and this goes down, because I was like, maybe he just kind of was like, yeah, I got my girl in my lap. So what's the problem here?
Yeah, but he shouldn't have even let it get to that point.
Okay. I don't remember exactly how it played out.
Well, it was like
Sean
she
went there
said,
before me.
Why
Everyone was seated. I saw all the chairs were taken. I asked, okay, yeah, you're right.
So he shouldn't even have let her get on his lap. He should have immediately gotten up and been like, look, the mother and Julissa are the biggest culprits in this situation. But I do think Sean could have.
It's true.
He could have made this situation a little better. I mean, yeah, maybe he just maybe he planned it all. He wanted a lap dance from his wifey.
I mean, it is a little bit more in Julissa's face, which I kind of enjoyed. Julissa getting it like that.
Yeah, and the mother-in-law too.
Right?
It's like... Back off, honey.
I put my booty on this swamp chest.
Swamp chest.
AITA are sitting on my husband's lap. We agree. NTA, mother-in-law Julissa, and Sean slightly is.
I say so.
Guys, that's the ep. Thanks so much for listening. And when she closes her eyes and she does
Bye.